Stop being an NPC. Here's a little task. I want you to think of your favorite anime protagonist. What makes that character the main character? What separates him from all the other characters in the show? And how can you love like your favorite anime character? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can transform your mindset from being an NPC to being the main character of your life. Okay, let's start with, I don't know if I'm gonna count steps or whatever, but point one. So point one, you wanna have a goal. Every great main character has a goal. For instance, take Asta from Black Clover. His main goal, his main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm sorry. I know what the fuck I'm doing. Anyways, Asta's main goal is to become the Wizard King, right? And in the show, he always is always working towards it. He doesn't let anything stand in his way from him and his goal. So now, when you pick a goal, I don't want you to pick something that's some grand title like Wizard King, President, whatever. I want you to pick something long term. Maybe 12 months to 1 to 2 years. Something like, let's say, getting in shape. Starting a business, getting good at a certain skill. Something that you can work on every day. And like, we're tying into this, the concept of Kaizen, which I explained in the previous video. Um, yeah, getting better each day at whatever you're doing. That is working towards your goal. And every day after you complete your task that you need to do to work towards that, you will feel a sense of achievement. And that sense of achievement just gives you like this confidence. I don't know how to explain it, but I want you to, it's just this confidence that you're doing your best, and it's like nobody can touch you. Yeah, so point two, stop caring what other people think. I think this is one that I've struggled with for a long time. I think I cared too much about other people's opinions. Um, like I cared too much about their opinions. I let it affect me mentally. It made me doubt myself. It made me insecure, and just like I was just so worried. Like, oh no, if I do this, what is person A gonna think? What is person B gonna think? And at the end of the day, you need to realize that their opinions don't matter, because firstly, you love in your life. This is your own life. You choose what happens. Okay, and then I realize, as long as I'm not hurting anyone, as long as I'm being good, um, no one else's opinions actually matter besides my own. You know. I saw my dog's barking there. Yeah, and a lot of times, like when you take into opinion as well, you set it apart for yourself. Just say you're really passionate about something, or you're really trying hard to work on something. Whether it's like building a business, like I said, working out, and then once you start doing something, or once you start getting a little bit good at it, you get all those people just commenting saying like, oh, I tried this before, it doesn't work out. um no, you shouldn't do this part, you should go down this part, it's a much safer route, it's much more you know mainstream, I guess. you know Everyone just keeps telling you things, right? And at some point you're going to start doubting yourself, because all these voices are just in your head. But you need to realize that if one person failed in this area, it doesn't mean you're going to fail as well. Maybe they didn't try hard enough. Maybe they didn't have the right resources to achieve this. And what's interesting is I've so this is like I think one of my favorite interactions I've ever had. So I usually like to visit bookshops. I try my best to read more often, and I just ran into one of the guys that works there, and he just told me like, hey, I there's this new book out here. It's called Courage to Be Disliked. I haven't read it myself, but I think it's a really good book. You should check it out. So he told me, I know it's something about five students doing studies, but the one thing that he told me that actually stuck with me is that, like I said, a lot of people will voice their opinions on what you're doing. They'll always give their intake on what you're doing. They'll always give their experience if they've done something similar, and if they failed at it. Just say, like, for instance, me, I want to be a DJ. If a person comes and tells me, oh no, you're not going to make money being a DJ, and another person say, no, I tried being a DJ, like 20 years ago. It didn't really work out, so it's best to do something safer. The thing is you shouldn't listen to them, first of all. And the key point, like just this whole punchline that like completely shifted everything, is that just when you, I wouldn't say fail, when you hit like a block, or you seem like you're failing in the path that you're pursuing, all those voices comes back to you, and it makes you doubt yourself. It's like, oh no, this person was right. I shouldn't have done this. I should have done something else. I should have gone the safer route. But no, that's not the case. It's not the case that this person was right. It's just the case that you've hit a block. You've just weren't able to make it in that time. It doesn't mean you need to stop. It doesn't mean you need to try something else. If it's something that you truly love, if you truly want to be successful in whatever area that you're working in, just keep trying, keep going until you make it. Eventually you will make it. And even if you don't, you're not, when you on your deathbed, you're not gonna sit and look back and like, no, I shouldn't have tried this. It's, yeah, I feel it. You're gonna think like, oh no, I'm happy I tried this because I knew what worked or what didn't work, and now I'm better. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you really need to block out every single person that gives you their opinion on what they think is the right path for you, because truly only you know what's the right path for you. And that took me way too long to figure out. Ah, and yeah, so like I said, that ties into what the actual fuck was that? Anyway, that ties into, I like to think about like Monkey D. Luffy. He's always wanted to be a pirate king ever since he was young. And even though his grandfather told him, no, you can't be a pirate king, you need to be a marine, did it ever stop him? No, it didn't. He just kept going on his path, and even, he's obviously hit blocks. He's obviously felt like he's failed, like especially in Sabaody, where he thought he lost everyone. And especially when he lost Ace as well. He thought he lost everything. But okay, obviously he did get a little bit of a talk from Jinbei as well to just help him get through it. But he just kept going. He kept going down this path that he wanted to, until he's going to reach the One Piece. Second one. Sorry, third point. Embrace the struggle. Um, Pain. There's no growth without. There's no growth without pain. And that's like one of the something that also like stuck with me. It's just knowing that you grow the most when you are put in situations out of your comfort zone. When you're struggling, when you just feel like you can't do this. Those are the type of situations that help you grow and improve as a person. Just mentally, it just helps you a lot. It just makes you stronger mentally. The more you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, the more you embrace that struggle, the more experience I would say you gain in dealing with these situations, and you just build this mentality that is somewhat unshakable, and that just like Ursa Scarlet from Fairy Tale, the amount of trauma she went through when she was a kid, and also like the amount of training I said she would made her such like a this person with this such strong mental fortitude in her, and it's almost like impossible for her to get you know broken down by someone else. Sorry, that's what I mean. It's almost impossible for someone to just break that mentality of hers. So yeah, that's why it's really good to do stuff that makes you uncomfortable. Go in the pain. Next point. Taking accountability. Um, you know, you are responsible for your own life. You can't blame anyone else for your situation, for your circumstances, for the way you are now. Everything is completely in your control. And I've also fell victim to this, where I was also at a point where I was like, oh no, oh, this person did this to me. I can't do this now. I don't have money. I can't do this. And it's just such like a limiting mentality. While I'm still not financially stable, I can't blame anyone else besides myself for not working hard enough to get out of this financial situation. And you just need to start like taking accountability. You just make everything is up to you. Everything is on you. The onus is on you. Okay? You make a mistake, that's on you. You yeah, you do something good, that's on you. It's a two-way streak, it's not always bad, you can also take accountability for good if you done. Yeah, and a lot of who can I say is one of the main characters who takes accountability, you take Zoro. Zoro from One Piece. I wouldn't say it's like necessarily taking ownership, but when he in Thriller Bark, when he takes the all of Luffy's pain, he's kind of taking accountability for not only himself but for his captain and his crew. He's basically taking all what bad that Luffy's done and then put it onto himself. He's taking responsibility for his crew. He's protecting his crew. I know it might sound a bit of like a bad example, but kind of like the only way I can kind of think of it. So taking accountability and being responsible for your own life. MC mentality. Even though Zoro's not the MC, I mean, he basically could be an MC. Oh, shit. Next point is consistency. Consistency is important. Consistency beats motivation. Like I've explained before, the Kaizen method, just doing 1% better every day. That's consistency, just working every day, making sure you do something every day to improve little by little. That is consistency. Like most anime characters work every day consistently. Asta trains relentlessly every day. Zoro trains. I keep using Zoro as an example. I know it's not a main character, but like I said, the man has aura, bro. He has insane aura. And I want you to have aura too. That's why you need to shift to a anime main character mindset. Uh, Sorry, I digress. Where were we? Yeah, being consistent. Just keep on honing your skill. You need to work on it every single day. Yeah, you can take a break here and there, but the most important thing with consistency is not giving up. The most important thing is when you get down, you get back right up. That's consistency. Not Yeah, sure. Walking every day. You can say this consistency. Oh my god, my fucking light just died, bro. I hope that's a little bit better than what it was, but yeah, being consistency, you just don't give up. Keep doing your little by little every day. If you can't do it every day, sure, you can take a break, but just don't stop. Never ever stop. Main characters, they never stop. And my last point that I like to make is I think one of the most important, and I know I emphasize this in almost all my videos, but working out. Yes, working out. I know working out is a physical thing, but it does wonders for your mentality. It Working out forms the basis for your discipline. Once you get that consistency with working out, it's easier for you to build discipline in other areas of your life. So not only are you going to build yourself a really good body, you're going to build just a really good discipline, a really good routine with being productive in general. You never ever skimp out on working out. Never ever underestimate working out, because if you don't take anything from this video, at least take this point of working out, because eventually you're gonna be building this discipline, and you come back to this video, you'll see yourself get better, get a better physique, and you'll be like, no, I really do want to be a anime main character. Then you come back to the video, you watch it, and then you look at the other steps on how, becoming, having this main character mindset. And like I said, this forms such a good, amazing basis for you. And I really hope that, what I said in this video, not only like the last point which I mean, but like everything, I hope you can just take that into consideration, especially if you like an avid anime watcher like myself. If there's like anime character you really like, I'll suggest, getting a poster, putting it up on your wall, and then every day you just look at it to remind yourself, I'm the main character. I'm following these steps to build to build a main character mindset. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of I think a longer one, if I'm not sure. I don't know. I've just been recording here, but yeah, hope you take something from it. It's been Zen. I'll see you again.